Hello, darling Leos, and this is Dot. Welcome to Dragonfly Soul Tarot. Today we are doing the Love and Romance mid-May to mid-June energies reading. What I'm going to be doing is the same reading that I did last time. I've adjusted a little bit. I'll explain that as we go on. We're going to be looking at the past, the present, the future, or incoming energies, as well as your wants or expectations, your needs and the reality, as well as your partner's wants, expectations, and their needs and reality, okay? So, without further ado, Leos, let's get started. I've shuffled, and now we are cutting the cards into three. Middle pile goes on top. All right, we're ready to go. So the energies in the past, Leo, the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Your wants or expectations, justice, your needs or the reality of the situation, the Sun, the current energies, the Emperor, your partner's wants and expectations, the Moon, your partner's needs or the reality of the situation, the King of Swords, and the outcome or the energies coming in from the future, the Queen of Cups. Okay, Leos, have you guys had a fight? Did you guys, oh boy, did you guys get into some sort of disagreement here? Because it seems like things were going really, really great for a while, like unbelievably great, maybe even to the point of wanting a deeper commitment from each other. And then you started saying that things were a little bit unfair and you wanted something but you weren't getting it, so maybe you were wanted something but you weren't getting it, but not only that, but you wanted more, or you judged them, you were judging them as to what they were giving you and what they were giving you and what you were receiving. And this was kind of casting like kind of being a bit of a downer on this particular relationship, Leo. Was this necessary? Was this scrutiny of the relationship necessary? This weighing of what I'm putting in as opposed to what you're putting in, was it necessary? It seems to me like it's possible that this was not the time to go into this. Like maybe there was just so much stuff going on, and bringing this expectation into the relationship where you're saying, well, I'm putting in this much and you're putting in that much, and it's unbalanced. It may have contributed to this. I'm not sure if you guys are separated. It looks like there may be a separation, but you're definitely on each other's minds. If you guys are not physically separated, there may be a little bit of a distance between the two of you, caused by this misunderstanding. It was not really a misunderstanding. It's possible that a miscommunication, right? You were trying to communicate something, and it seems like your partner took it as an attack. Because sometimes when we try to communicate, we're trying to make things better, yet the other person sees it as an attack, as somebody saying that we're not good enough, that we're not doing enough. And so that's why the Justice card has come out. And it seems to me like on your part, you you may have tried to communicate, but in essence did some damage to this relationship by coming across as maybe, well, I don't have a descriptive word about it, but weighing your input into the relationship as opposed to their input may have been seen as kind of an attack on them as a person and what they brought to a relationship. So definitely a communication snag. It's in the way that you tried to express your needs to this other person. You had some needs and you wanted to express them in order for this other person to realize where you're coming from and maybe make some adjustments in order so that to make you happy, then you both could be happier, right? Everybody just wants to be happy, and every time people are communicating, whether they're being effective in that communication or not, you're just trying to be happy, which is kind of interesting because here we have the sun. What you need, the reality of the situation is that this has all been blown out of proportion, and that's why I'm trying to choose my words very, very carefully. This may be just a little hurt underneath, but there's hurt feelings here. Definitely some hurt feelings. But the thing is, everything is, if it's not completely fine, it's easily fixed. Okay, so you need to bring that Leonine charm, you know, that shining Leonine energy back into this relationship and kind of backtrack, rewind to when the days were really happy for you guys together. Maybe not bring this up again until you find a way to communicate it in a less threatening manner. Because the energies we have right now is the energies of the Emperor. And the Emperor is all about power. This is power. Power struggle. Here we go. Power struggle. You want, they want. It's got to be balanced. If it's out of balance, somebody's unhappy and they want the balance back. Okay? Sometimes that balance is going to go one way and sometimes that balance is going to go the other way. But if you take the stance that it has to be this way every time, then you can come across as being obstinate and overpowering. And that's something that Leos have enough of over time. I'm not saying all Leos are obstinate and overpowering, but being a Leo rising, I know that sometimes my personality can be really overwhelming, and then if I focus on a certain thing with another person, they can feel like I'm really trying to steamroller them. So I try not to steamroller to get my way. And sometimes I don't even know I'm doing it. And I believe this is the card that indicates when we are kind of trying to steamroll to get our way. And it could even be like a silent treatment, you know. If you don't give me what I want, I'm going to turn my back on you, which is, you know, just very childish. Leos are very adept at getting their way, and by many different means. And this is what is happening right now. Leo wants their way. Leo wants the scales balanced, and that is causing some friction between you and your loved one. Okay, Leo wants what they want when they want it. Okay, but Leo needs to realize that that's not the reality of the situation all the time. But don't worry too much about it. All right, so we have the sun, and by contrast we have the moon. which is what they want and what they need. And it seems to me like they are retreating into their shell. They may be refusing to communicate. They may be sulking. They may be... Because there's some sort of miscommunication here. You're trying to communicate in your Leonine manner, not realizing that you can be a little overpowering sometime. And they're, instead of rising up to challenge you and kind of confront you, which is what a Leo wants. A Leo wants discourse. They want negotiation. They don't want somebody to back off, right? When they're coming at you with this, hey, my side is unbalanced as opposed to your side, they want you to say why. They want you to speak up as to why. Because in a court of law, there's two sides, right? If one side doesn't have representation, that side is lost. And this is like that. So you have one side that is represented in this argument, and maybe overly represented in this argument, but the other side is backing off because they may be feeling a little overwhelmed or overpowered, or maybe there's some other things going on in their life that is taking precedence over dealing with this with you. So they're backing off. They're retreating into their shell, and that's not what you want. But as I was saying before, a Leo needs to have someone stand up to them. A Leo needs someone who can put a mirror in front of their face and say, hey, look at you. Look at how you're acting. Is this really the way you want to act? Okay, so the King of Swords is tough. The King of Swords doesn't let anyone faze him. And the King of Swords doesn't put his heart over his head. So he deals with things with his mind and logic and straightforwardness, even though they may be a little sharp at times, a little cutting. I don't think in this particular instance the King of Swords is being called on to be cruel, but Leo is a little bit out of line. Leo is has been kind of coming across as overly aggressive in this situation, overly overpowering in this situation. And this is what is needed from the partner. The partner needs to stand up for himself. The partner, him or herself, they need to stand up for themselves. They need to come up and confront the lion, because the lion is really, the lion is tameable. And here we are. At the end we have the Queen of Cups, the sweet, loving romance. Now this could mean that you are involved with a water sign, or this could mean that as the Queen of Cups is very romantic and sweet and kind, and you have the sun shining in your reality, this is not a big deal. Maybe by all the words that I've been using, I've made it sound like a big deal. But this happens to Leo all the time, where we're constantly steamrolling people and you know, hogging all the attention. So what this energy is trying to say is that as we get on in relationships, and the negotiations may become more intense, and you know, this struggle for power, the struggle for the constant evaluation of who is contributing what and how much, it's gonna be out of balance from time to time. And so there's a little bit of an imbalance. But with the Queen of Cups as the outcome, as the resolution card, everything is going to be okay. This water energy coming in is going to temper the fiery Leonine energy and kind of mediate between the sun and the moon, and help to bring these two together, find a happy ground, happy middle ground, in order for them to work things out. Okay, so yeah, this is the defendant standing up for themselves. This is what the partner needs to do. They need to stand up for themselves. They can't retreat away from the lion, because the lion is a very forward, very confrontational sign. So the Queen of Cups kind of finds the middle ground between the fire of the sun and the water and mist of the moon. Okay, so there is definitely a solution there. Whatever has gone wrong here, Leo, just keep in mind that, just remember that we are naturally very dominant. We're a very dominating sign. So we need to be cautious of other people's feelings and how we come across when we're trying to communicate and solve our problems. We may be coming across as attacking as opposed to communicating. Okay, very straightforward reading, not a big deal, Leos. Something that can be easily solved by looking for the middle ground, and things will be just fine in the end, as usual. Well, thank you for being here, Leo. I hope you enjoyed your reading for mid-June to mid-May to mid-June. Sorry about that. Remember to tell 2 people about my channel, so that if they need to hear these messages, they'll know where to find me. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, and commenting on my videos. We will see you next time. Bye for now.